talking about the tradition of Southern University football, what it's all about at Mumford Stadium. We start talking about the band playing and people being around. A lot of people had to imagine that and was saying, really, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's awesome. But here's a guy that could speak to that, been right there involved in that, and have an understanding of the expectations of this job. And so I can go on and on and on about him. I think a lot of us know him personally and have relationships with him, but I think he connected the dots to our alumni base. He connected the dots surely to our athletic alumni base and to our students. And so just in the last 48 hours, this champion of a man just received an accolade from the Coaches Association as the Coach of the Year in Region 3. And that is at our football level. And I think that's an outstanding accolade to have. And so with that being said, I like for us, I'm asking for you all to approve of this contract, and I'd like to welcome back home and bring back Southern University winning tradition, Coach Eric Dooley.
Well, good afternoon to everyone, and this is an honor for me to be here to be in front of you guys and have opportunity to take over a program that is rich in tradition. But I also want to understand, because a lot of times those things go unnoticed. It is about the W's and the L's, but I've been fortunate enough to probably graduate at least 45 to 50 guys from the program when I was at Prairie View A&M University for us to get their degree, and maybe 10 to 15 guys when you talk about getting a master's degree. So to me, it's about building a quality young man to be successful. That's what I want to build, a whole man. I want to coach the whole individual and make it more of a family type atmosphere. So this bring honor to me. As I said in the press conference, I'm not a guy of many words. I just like to work, but just to be here, I take this as an honor.
Well, thank you, Coach. We'll now recognize our system president for any comments that he might have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I just wanted to first and foremost applaud the efforts of Athletic Director Roman Banks. As I pointed out earlier, I witnessed him firsthand in the diligence that he engaged in to select Coach Eric Dooley. This process was a long process that begun in the spring, and of course, as of a couple of days ago, just now ending. But he actually had a lot of sleepless nights. I received a lot of feedback from alums, which is appropriate and rightful, but nevertheless, did what was right for Southern University. At the end of the day, we got our man, we got Coach Eric Dooley. And I too wanted to, take this privilege, to express my excitement in bringing Coach Dooley home. I do think he represents the individual character, one whose focus is on the entirety of the student athlete, and one who has the requisite experiences to take Southern University football, to the next level. So I too, Mr. Chair, would like to ask your kind indulgence and support in approving the recommendation of the administration to hire our 20th football coach of Southern University and A&M College, Coach Eric Dooley.
Great. I know Mr. Bartholomew moves. Is there a second? Ms. Williams seconds it. Are there any comments from board members?
Yeah, I like to.
Okay, we'll go to Mr. Fondale, then we'll come back to you, Mr. Bartholomew.
All right, thank you so much. I just wanted to say congratulations on the professionalism that went into the process itself. As the chair said and the president said, we've had many phone calls. I know quite a few of you have, but the professionalism that went into it, making this choice was excellent. So I just wanted to commend you on that. We didn't get a chance at the last meeting also to commend on the probation of being offered probation for the 5 years. So we want to acknowledge that also too. So thank you very much. And Coach Dooley, looking forward to great things. And again, welcome back home.
Sir, thank you. Mr. Bartholomew.
Yeah, it was an ongoing process with the AD. But it looked like, oh man, I'm working hard, I'm working, I'm getting closer and closer, day by day. It looked like it's getting better and better. But we done yet? No, not yet, not yet. But I'm working. I'm working on it. So it was a trial thing for him to go through, persistent. But I wanted to comment on the coach because attitude of players, of students, makes the profound difference in success. And your philosophy is very rich in character. And it's something that you disseminate outward to people around you. Because if they can't have it, they can't be a part of it. And I want to commend you for that because too often we don't see that and we don't hear of it and we don't feel it. But you have those characteristics and I see it and I feel it and I love it and I appreciate it. I'm sure those students that you're going to be dealing with, the athletes themselves, will tremendously benefit from that. So God bless you and your team and your coaches and the AD for continuing working ethics like y'all have going on. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Any other comments? Hearing none.
Coach Dooley, you're gonna have to win now.
Let me just say this. I think Dr. Tarver and I were talking before the meeting. If the homecoming that you have received is any way reflective of the tenure you're gonna have here, it's gonna be outstanding.
That's right.
I think the Advocate, I'd never seen the Advocate give top billing like it has to the selection of a football coach than it has you. And I was also at the press conference. It warmed my heart to see the young men that you had previously coached who turned out, and not only who turned out, but who made themselves available to the Advocate to talk about the impact that you had on their lives and how it's still fresh in their memory. So I join what everyone has said and just tickle pink that you're here with us leading our program. You know what the expectations are. We believe not only that you're equipped and prepared to meet them, but exceed them. So it's been moved by Mr. Bartholomew, seconded by Ms. Williams. Is there any objection to Mr. Eric Dooley being named our head football coach at Southern University of Baton Rouge? Hearing none, it's so ordered. Congratulations, coach. All right. Okay, we'll go now to item G1 through 7. G1 through 7. 1 year salary adjustment for additional duties assigned through the housing eviction and diversion project funded by, that should be LHC, shouldn't it? And DOA. I too am going to recuse myself from this one, and I'll turn the motion of handling this over to the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Action item G1 through 7. Can I get a motion to approve? In a second. Offered by Mr. Bartholomew, seconded by Mr. Fondale. Any comments? I do have one comment. Professor Pierre, Chancellor, I'm sorry. You always be professor to me. Absolutely. My professor. Could you give me a little brief synopsis of what we're doing here?
Yes. Shorty. So this is the culmination actually of some conversations I had with you. This is a effort with Louisiana Housing Corporation, the state of Louisiana Office of Community Development to deal with the eviction issues that are happening across the state because of the pandemic and many folks who could not pay rent. We have a lot of landlords who did not receive rental income for a long period of time, and there's money available to help alleviate their problem, assuming that the landlords and tenants can come to agreements. When the moratorium was lifted, the eviction proceedings started again. And so many of these city courts have created
these mediation programs to see if there's a way to mediate the disputes. Because if you have a massive eviction process and you got a whole bunch of people that are homeless, and the shame of it all is that there's federal dollars available to help avoid the problem. So we have been working with the Louisiana Housing Corporation. We actually have a mediation program here in Baton Rouge City Court. And so this would be a pilot program that will be developed primarily Hammond, Monroe, Alexandria to begin with. But hopefully we could take it throughout the whole state and actually use it as a model to really resolve homelessness issues and eviction issues for many people who are low income that are facing tough times in the state of Louisiana. So, we hope that we're going to be successful in this process, and we're willing to go full force into this.
I applaud you, Chancellor, and seeing that there's a problem and trying to address that problem, mainly brought on by COVID. Vice Chair will now recognize the chair, Mr. Rutledge.
And I just want to state for the record why I recuse myself. My company has a relationship with the Louisiana Housing Corporation. In fact, we manage for the state of Louisiana, with the exception of the local governmental units, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and we have no relationship with the university at all. But because this does have some nexus to that program, we don't have a contractual relationship with the institution. I just thought it best that I recuse myself from voting. But it is also another example of having well-placed alumni of our institutions in these various capacities, because we've got an outstanding person who is the general counsel of the agency there and who has been very collaborative, I know, with Chancellor Pierre in the development of this program, as well as others, which is much needed. But I just wanted to state for the record why I thought it was important that I do that.
Yes, and that's exactly right. And actually, that alum, Yolanda Martin, was actually heading we had our own real estate and housing clinic. So she came to me a few years ago and said, we should develop a clinic like this here at the law center. I said, that makes a lot of sense. Let's do it. We just went for it, and so forth and so on. And actually, it touches on something you were talking about a few years ago, Dr. Tarver, because you saw this as a problem in the state of Louisiana. And I said that we would do what we could to help fix it. And that's what we've been doing.
Chair recognizes Mr. Lawson.
Quick question. I heard Alexandria, Hammond, what's the other area? Monroe, okay. Thank you. What happens after 1 year?
Well, what we actually are going to do is we're going to work to expand it, but this is just a beginning. So the state is unfolding its processes, and what they want to do is they want to really reach out across the state. So this is just was the first salvo at getting this done. And what we hope to do is over the next couple of months is develop a program that will reach out to the whole state. Of course, there's a certain amount of dollars assigned to this particular project. It's not, in other words, it's not going to be a permanent solution, because obviously you've got to deal with life after COVID, but this at least helps deal with the problem that exists right now. Our hope is that we can get additional funding to really provide certainty to people in low income housing, because we believe that we have a model in Massachusetts that we want to look at that can be developed, that can hopefully deal with problems across the state. So it's a pilot, and hopefully we'll be successful enough so that we can continue doing that. And then it requires, I guess, from a policy perspective, it requires individuals in the legislature, individuals at city levels, because they are going to get dollars from either HUD or block grant dollars, and they have to determine that this is a priority for them, because this is really about is protect people from being homeless. And that's us kind of getting into a service, but also pushing a policy.
Any additional comments? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of action item G through 1 through 7, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. We'll go now to item H through 9. Request approval of personal action on positions equal to or greater than $60,000. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Mr. Shorty. Is there a second? It's been seconded by Mrs. Williams. Any objection to the approval of item H 1 through 9? Hearing none, the items stand approved. Go now to items I and J. Clarification of personal action for Charles Rice, SULC Program Manager and Consultant. Clarification of personal action for Samantha Thompson, SULC Analyst for Institutional Effectiveness. What are we clarifying, Mr. Chancellor?
Yes, sir. So originally, we had taken these items off the agenda for November because we didn't want to make the agenda too long. And in the process, somehow or another, it got back on, but the salary amount was incorrect for both of them.
Okay.
In one case, it was too high. In another case, it was too low. And so when we noticed that error, we just thought it best to come back to the board and get that clarification so we do it proper.
Very good. Any questions, members? Is there a motion? It's been moved by, was it Mr. Lawson? Dr. Tarver? Is there a second over here? Mrs. Smith? Any objection to the approval of items I and J? Hearing none, the items stand approved. Informational items, President's report, Dr. Belton. Oh, we want to do the resolution. I'm sorry, I didn't see him on.
No, I know we had to do the.
Oh, we did, okay. I'm sorry. We go
Thank
now
you,
to
Mr.
Dr.
Chair.
Williams.
Thank you, members of the board. Our December 2021 resolutions are as follows. Condolences to the Russell Eugene Cooks Senior family. Mr. Russell Eugene Cooks Senior was a proud native of Jodytown, and he was a resident of Georgia. He graduated from Southern University Baton Rouge with a BS in Communications in 1983. He was a dedicated servant of his beloved Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated and passed away on Saturday, November 27, 2021. Condolences also to the Theodore Fontaine Jr. family. Mr. Theodore Fontaine Jr. resided in the city of Alexandria. He was also the police juror for District D. He graduated undergrad and graduate degrees from Southern University and also studied at Northwestern State University, and he passed away on December 5th, 2021. Finally, our condolences to the Ron Stallworth Senior family. Mr. Roy Stallworth Senior was born in Mobile, Alabama, and a resident of Pritchard, Alabama, since his mid-20s. He was the brother of Southern University law professor Arthur E. Stallworth. He passed away on November 26, 2021. That concludes our December 2021 resolutions. Happy holidays, everyone.
Okay, you heard the resolutions. Is there a motion? Mr. Moved by Mr. Lawson, seconded by Mr. Bartholomew. Any objection to the adoption of the resolutions? Hearing none, they stand adopted. We go now to informational items. Item 8A, the President's report. Dr. Belton.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I really want to express my appreciation for many of you who joined with us earlier this morning during the fall commencement. As you know, we had the opportunity to salute as many as 450 students this morning as they completed the requirements for graduation. But I think what is so important is to recognize that did not come about in a vacuum. Clearly, the burden rests on faculty and staff who served in a supporting role. But I also just want to highlight and make sure that you recognize, what your role has been, in shaping the experiences of these students. Your support of our policies, your advisement, the direction to which this board has offered the administration, faculty, and staff is very meaningful. And so, again, I just want to highlight and make sure that you feel that you have an appreciation that your engagement is important and has been relative in advancing our goal of providing quality experiences for our students. I guess the other thing, and it's been a long-standing desire, and we're going to actually make a formal presentation of it in January. But just this week, we have been working on the aim of ensuring that all employees, all employees employed within the Southern University system have at the very least are making at the very least $10 an hour or more. And we have just now secured approval from Civil Service to make that happen. And that comes as a result of the efforts of each one of our campuses and their HR staff. I really want to salute Tracy Woods, who brought leadership to that. And really, I guess, acknowledge the patience of our staff who have waited so long for this. Not only are they now being brought up, for those who were being brought up to that, they all received a 5% increase that will be rolled into their salary this month. And for those who were already over 10%, they're getting another 5% increase on top of that. So I think that's it's an outcome to which we have long been working on. I think certainly board member Ann Smith as chair and Dr. Tarver, and certainly Chairman Rutledge, all of them have been working on this. And I'm really pleased to report that has finally come to fruition. And lastly, I just want to offer greetings, season greetings to all of you. Sadly enough, I guess next week we'll probably be having lunches and all of that. But we certainly want to just take a moment, just to express our appreciation to all of you as members of the board, our faculty, our staff, these exceptional leaders who actually are working within the trenches to ensure that our goals are met. It's been very special. And again, a great year. So again, happy holidays to each of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Belton. Very happy to hear of the success with regard to those salary schedules. And even $10 an hour is woefully low, but at least we're making some progress. And it amazes me, the people that oppose it. I want to say to them, you try to live on $10 an hour or minimum wage in this economy. So thank you. And I hope that your efforts will be ongoing.
Yes.
To make certain that we can try to get our employees in a position where they can earn a living wage. All right, we'll go now to our I don't see any questions coming. We'll go down to our Chancellor's reports, and we'll begin with Dr. Emmons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair, members of the board, President Belton and colleagues. I too want to extend seasoned greetings to each and every one of you. I also want to say too that the holiday season has started early at SUNO. We've received some outstanding news this last week. First, the Psych COC reaffirmed the accreditation for 10 years without further reporting. And this is very significant because we do not have to provide any other information to psychs based on the site visit, the visits that we had in the compliance certification document. Thank you, that we submitted. We also got some great news in the athletic arena. The Gulf Coast Athletic Conference has voted to readmit SUNO to the conference pending NAIA approval. And just yesterday, the NAIA, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, their membership committee voted to approve the application for readmission to the NAIA. This is just one step in a several step process. And this one could have, well, let me put it the other way. This is the gateway to full membership to the NAIA for SUNO. So the membership committee voted to send a site visit team to the campus in February. Based on the recommendation that will come from the site visit team, the Council of Presidents will vote in April on membership for SUNO into the NAIA. As I said before, we are beginning to rebuild the athletic programs with men and women's basketball and volleyball. And I know that Coach Banks has left, but I sure would like for the Jaguars to give us an exhibition game as we bring our basketball teams back. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Ammons. Dr. Penny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wednesday marked my first month in the position of helping to ensure a transition at Susla. And I'm very happy to report that these first 4 weeks have been very productive. I've had a chance during this period to engage with our faculty, Senate leadership, our staff Senate leadership, and our student leadership on the campus through various forums, in many cases, both in open meetings, town hall forums, and also one-on-one in the office, to really hear from them as they envision the future that we're putting together, a strategic vision for Susla that would be kicked off in the spring semester. But yesterday was kind of crystallized the expansion of this engagement beyond the campus community to the Shreveport greater community. And under the auspices of our Southern University at Shreveport Foundation, Mr. Frank Williams and their entire team really put together a beautiful program that brought together a cross-section of the Shreveport community. And as I shared with them, I don't think that visit was anything about the interim chancellor, but it was an opportunity to really once again to celebrate the contributions of Susla to the greater Shreveport community. And it culminated, board members, Mr. Chairman, I was very pleased with a $100,000 check that was presented to the university, which again is a testament in the faith and trust that that community has in Susla and the future direction. So I want to again express my appreciation to both the internal campus community and the greater Shreveport community. And I want to thank our President Chancellor. I don't know, Mr. President, how you do it, but Doc was able to grace us with his presence and engaged and offered some remarks yesterday as he returned right back to engage in graduation this morning. So President Chancellor, Dr. Pelton, thank you so much for your presence. And I want to acknowledge Mr. Sam Gilliam, who represented this board impeccably at this engagement. So once again, thank you very kindly.
Thank you, Dr. Penning. And I did receive an invitation from Mr. Williams to attend, but I was in New Orleans at a previous commitment and I could not make it, but because I was going to make the turnaround trip. I was just looking forward to making the turnaround trip to Shreveport. So glad to hear that the reception went well. Thank you.
We did acknowledge you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Be happy to be turning over those turnaround trips. Somebody else here real soon. We go now to Dr. McNeil.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable board members, President Belton, colleagues, and friends. I really have one announcement, and it centers around, as you remember in May, we had the distinguished honor to receive a designation and an award for an 1890 Center of Excellence from the USDA. And the name of the center is the Center of Excellence for Nutrition, Health, Wellness, and Quality of Life. And it really centers around 1890s building capacity to address and improve health and well-being of underserved communities, which we have historically served. Associated with that designation, we received $1.68 million. And so while we were really excited about that, I know most of you know that there are a lot of centers and institutes, but without funding, they're just names. And so we didn't necessarily settle with the 1.68 million. So I am here to announce that that the Walmart Foundation has awarded our Center of Excellence $500,000 to support in the advancement of that Center of Excellence. And I want to personally thank Dr. Fatima, who is the project director, and she's here. Please stand. Also, Dr. Renita Marshall, who is the co-PI. And they're doing an outstanding job. And I also like to remind my colleagues and also remind this board that the other institutions associated with us, we are the lead institution. I think North Carolina A&T and Tuskegee are the others, sub-awardees, so to speak. But
we're the leader.
We are the leaders. That's right. So, but when we thought that was good, the current NIFA director at USDA is a Louisiana native, Dr. Kerry Castile. And we found out 2 weeks ago that we received an additional $1.68 million to support that center. So in the last 6 months, we received $4 million to support this new Center of Excellence, and we're really excited about that. I want to, since most of them are here, I want to recognize my outstanding team I have for the Ag Center came to the meeting today, and so I want to recognize them and thank them for their support.
Please stand, all the Ag Center representatives. Very good.
Thank you. That concludes my comments.
Great job, Dr. McMeans. All right, great report. See if you can top that, Chancellor Pierre.
Thank you, Chairman Rutledge and honorable members of the board. Each of you should have received this document, which is sort of a annual report for the SULC Technology and Entrepreneurship Legal Clinic. And again, this is really a testament to your support of the programs we do at Southern University Law Center. This is a technology and entrepreneurship legal clinic that has helped a lot of upstart, minority, and even non-minority entrepreneurs get valuable services that they normally could not get. And we're very, very happy to continue to do that. And it's all part of the Innovation Center. And again, it keeps building, and we see more and more opportunities. The benefits to our students and to the community are just immense. So we would thank you for your support of our activities. The second thing is I want to, when we last met in November, I said that the Cattle Parish Commission was going to take a vote to support our efforts to expand legal education in Shreveport. They did take their vote on December 1st, and they approved us getting an additional $700,000 for our technology infrastructure. And Professor Alfred, who's been leading that effort, she's here. So she came down to, we're working now to get the students the internship opportunities. And we've got a contractor from Shreveport who was working on renovating that 3rd and 4th floor, and he's doing very well, and we're moving forward. So we got about 30 days to make some things happen. I think we start class around January 10th, and we're running on a tight schedule, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So thank you for your support with respect to that. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we too, like Southern University of New Orleans, were very, very pleased to be granted the same status. We were reaccredited by SAC-COC and 10 years, no report backs. That's a great accomplishment for us, and we appreciate the work of all of our staff and faculty in doing that. And so, you know, we are trying to make good things happen. On the 20th of December, and we'll send you out a formal invitation, Congressman Carter will be with us. Troy Carter will be with us because of the Minority Business Development Center that we have here. So he wants to come and tour to see what we're doing. We have a reception for him. So that will be, I think, around 12:30, but we'll get you more information with respect to that. So again, we thank you for the support that you give to us on a daily basis at the Southern University Law Center. And we're just trying to do our best to push forward the agenda to spread the gospel of
Thank
Southern
you.
University Law Center.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sahu, I want to publicly apologize to you. I was in such a rush at our Value Classic meeting to get out of there.
No, sir.
I just completely forgotten about you at the end of the table there. So I'm glad you got my attention, but I certainly have not forgotten about you this morning, and we'd like to recognize Dr. Sahu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. Mr. Chair, honorable members of the Board of Supervisors, my President, Chancellor, Dr. Belton, today is a happy day. Allow me to just be able to say thank you and add to what Dr. Belton said. Most of you were at the commencement ceremony and you saw the excitement. You saw the good that accomplishes, we accomplish working together. And I want to also thank you for what you do and the support that you provide. As provost, I represent the faculty, and today I want to thank the faculty and staff at Southern University of Baton Rouge for making it possible for this large group of students, their families, their friends, all to come together and not only see success, but celebrate success. I also want to add that we recognize one of our own, and we want to do more of that. Mr. You heard that, the speech of Mr. Matthews. And I think he's a very good example of what we produce and the quality of graduates that Southern University produces. And I want you to know we are committed to providing for be multiplicative in terms of having more Irving Matthews in the world, where we are producing our effort will lead to having students who will graduate having productive careers, but live noble lives like he does in terms of giving back, and also be a global citizen, given that his widespread, influence in the community where he lives, in the country and beyond. Thank you. I want to quickly report that the things that you are seeing will happen only when we do the things ahead of time. So since you met in New Orleans 2-3 weeks ago on a Friday, with support from the Vice Chancellor for Research at the SUBR campus, we assembled all the PhD faculty. We have 5 PhD faculties. We are trying to add 1 or 2 more, but we wanted to start that conversation about being a research to Carnegie Classified University. It is time, Mr. Chair, and I'm going to make a presentation to you in January, but it was unanimous in terms of their endorsement that we will work towards within 3 to 4 years becoming a research to Carnegie Classified University. Day before yesterday, I want to thank President Dr. Belton to bring about and forming the University College. And this is where, with the first impressions, all the freshman students who come in go through the University College experience in terms of orientation, in terms of time management, in terms of forming habits of student success, in terms of us providing them the academic support. And we have 2 types of support. One, if they need one-on-one and during working hours or even beyond, but we also provide them 24-hour academic support in this world of technology. And we are bought into a service that is provided to our students. We have now, every student who comes with seemingly deficiency English and math will no more be enrolling in developmental courses, but what we call co-requisite, meaning the same professor is going to be teaching in the deficiency area and also in the area where they need to in terms of pathway, in terms of English and math. We have a community English writing and communication center that any student at Southern University can go, and it is staffed that they can get the help they need in terms of enhancing their ability to write and to communicate. So all these little things will add up to what you saw today. And our commitment is to continuous improvement. If you saw 450, we want it to be 900 and not stop there. So this is a moment of pride for me in terms of the faculty. I want to say thank you to you, and we want to see and think the better days. We're happy for where we are, Mr. President, but our better days are ahead of us. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Chairman and Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu. That completes our chancellor's reports. We go now to number 9 for other business. Any other business? Any other business? Hearing none, we go to entertain a motion for adjournment. Mr. Lawson moves adjournment, and we certainly want to take this opportunity to wish everybody the very best of the holiday season. And Mr. Chairman-elect, I believe our January meeting is going to be the 7th?
Yes, sir.
The 7th, because by law, we have to have the first meeting in January by the second Monday in January. So mark your calendars for January the 7th. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
My brother, thank you for your support. It was a beautiful thing.
Man, did you get Leon that hat? Marcus. Put this